You know those so-called bad habits people are always pointing out? What if they're not bad at all? What if they're actually signs that your brain is working on a whole other level? Today, we're going to flip the script on what it means to be smart. And hey, you might just recognize a little bit of genius in yourself.
Okay, let's start with a classic one, a messy desk. Everyone says it means you've got a messy mind, right? It's what we've all been told. But is that actually true? We're going to dig into that stereotype and a few others to see what's really going on.
Because what if some of these habits, the ones people might call, well, strange or disorganized, are actually clues? Clues that your brain is operating at peak performance, just in a way that most people don't recognize.
All right, first up, we're diving into a habit that, let's be honest, a lot of us do, but maybe don't love to admit, talking to yourself. We're going to find out why it's not a sign you're going crazy, but actually a sign of a genius mind hard at work.
Seriously, think about it. Have you ever been wrestling with some impossible IKEA instructions or trying to track down where you left your keys and you start narrating? Okay, where did I put them? Check the counter. If you do that, you are definitely not alone.
But see, this is the thing we've all heard, right? Don't talk to yourself, it's weird. It's this deep-seated idea in our culture. Well, it's time to call that out for what it is. A myth. And we're going to use a little science to bust it wide open.
And here's the big twist. Far from being some kind of flaw, science is showing us that talking to yourself is actually a pretty sophisticated tool your brain uses to, well, to get smarter and work better.
Yeah, it has a name and everything. It's called verbal reasoning. And it's not just you muttering to yourself, it's an active, powerful process. When you give your thoughts a voice, you're literally forcing different parts of your brain to get involved. You're taking these fuzzy, abstract ideas floating around in your head and making them concrete, something you can actually work with.
So, how does this magic work? Well, it's a three-step process, really. First, speaking your thoughts out loud helps you organize them. It takes that jumble of ideas and lines them up in a neat little row. Second, when you say a goal aloud, like, okay, I am going to finish this report, it makes it real. It solidifies your commitment. And third, it's amazing for managing your emotions. You know, talking through your frustration can actually help calm you down and get you back on track.
Okay, so this whole idea that our brains work in these cool, unexpected ways brings us right to our next strange habit. Yep, we're going back to that messy desk. Let's uncover the hidden logic hiding in all that chaos.
You've been there, right? A parent, your boss, a roommate walks by, sees your desk, the piles of paper, the stray coffee mugs, and says, you know, you should really clean this up. It'll help you think. They mean well, but are they right?
And of course, there's that famous saying, a cluttered desk is a cluttered mind. It sounds so logical, so neat. But what if it's just another one of those myths that's ready to be busted?
Because here's a totally different way to look at it. What if that mess isn't a sign of a cluttered mind at all? What if it's the sign of a focused mind? A mind that's so busy with big, important ideas that it just doesn't have time for the small stuff, like tidying up.
There's a fascinating term for this: selective organization. Think about it. Your brain only has so much juice, right? So much energy and attention. When a mind is really, truly engaged, it pours all that energy into solving the big problems, not into color-coding pens. So the mess isn't a sign you're disorganized. It's a sign you're a master of prioritizing. It's all about a contrast, you see. On the outside, yeah, your desk might look like a hurricane hit it. But on the inside your brain, what's really happening is laser focus. Your mental desktop is clean, streamlined, and pointed right at the one thing that matters most. So let's be super clear here. We're not talking about laziness. We're talking about a brain that's busy doing the heavy lifting, connecting abstract ideas, wrestling with the tough problem, having a creative breakthrough. It's so deep in the zone that honestly, who cares where the stapler is?
Okay, so let's tie this all together. It's really about a mental shift, isn't it? It's time to start rethinking these little quirks we all have, to stop seeing them as flaws and start seeing them for what they might actually be, powerful features of our own unique brain.
Because here's the bottom line. Real intelligence isn't about fitting into some neat little box. It's not about having a perfectly organized desk or never talking to yourself. It's about how your brain works for you. It's about finding the most effective path to a solution, even if that path looks a little messy to everyone else.
So let's just recap the two big ideas we've talked about. That talking you do to yourself, that's not crazy. That's verbal reasoning.
a killer tool for thinking clearly. And that messy desk? Not necessarily a messy mind. It can be a sign of selective organization, a brain that's totally locked in on what's important.
And that really makes you think, doesn't it? The next time you catch yourself doing something you think is a bad habit, just pause for a second. Don't be so quick to judge. Instead, ask yourself a different question. What if this isn't a flaw at all? What if this is actually my brain's secret weapon?